Hello, Archie Dunlop here with Talking Astrology with Archie on Wednesday, June the 18th, 2025. And in this short video, I'm going to do an I Ching reading for the day. And the reason I'm doing it is I made a small mistake, or maybe quite a large mistake, in my overall video for today. And so in a way, this video is an amendment. And so if you don't want your I Ching done, by the way, you can just stop watching this video. So assuming you want your I Ching read, here goes. So I asked the question, what is Wednesday going to be like for those watching the I Ching section of this video? And the first hexagram I got was hexagram number 4. Now, hexagram number 4 in the I Ching is problematic. It often indicates that you basically shouldn't be asking the question. Perhaps you've asked it before, once. Maybe you've asked it twice before. Maybe this is the third time. Maybe you know the answer already. So that is another good reason why you shouldn't be watching this video. Maybe you don't want to know the answer, or maybe you can't accept the answer and you have been told. Perhaps you used another technique. Perhaps you used astrology or the tarot cards or just your intuition. So yeah, you probably know the answer. But assuming you want me to proceed, then this first hexagram I got, hexagram number 4, does indicate that you don't entirely know what you're doing. Perhaps you're naive or inexperienced, and you think you understand things, but you don't. And the best thing to do would be to just back off, stop what you're doing, or at least realize you're not up to the job. Now, do bear in mind though that this reading is just for one day, for Wednesday, June the 18th, 2025. And so, tomorrow is another day, but maybe you're just involved in something today that you're not familiar with. And the more you continue with it, the more you realize that, there are problems, and perhaps you just need to be honest about that. Now, this hexagram for youthful folly does have 3 moving lines. The third line from the bottom moves, the fourth line from the bottom moves, and the fifth line from the bottom moves. So with the third line moving, this really does indicate that you are in a weak position, and that if you're involved with other people, these people, they could be dangerous, or they could just be a mismatch like you're involved with people who know more about the subject than you. They're perhaps being patronizing, or they're asking you, what are you doing? Do you really know what you're doing? Or you're dealing with people who know even less about things than you are, and they really are of no use whatsoever. Then the fourth line moves, and it's kind of more of the same. You can get involved in something, you can think you're moving ahead, you can think you're making progress, but you're not. And the more you go on, the worse it gets. And so situation, doesn't look good. Though with the fifth line, very often in the I Ching, the fifth line is actually quite a fortunate line. And the fifth line can represent, what can it represent? It can represent something happening which changes the situation. What can change the situation? Well, you can accept the fact that you don't fully know what you're doing. You can realize that you do need help, but you need the right kind of help, and you're prepared to finally listen to some advice, and you get advice, and then you can act in an appropriate way. In a way that is fortunate for you, or at least can mitigate a difficult situation. Now, that might be just accepting that you're just involved in something that really just isn't going anywhere. Now, because we've got 3 moving lines, that does mean that we move to a second hexagram. And the hexagram we move to is hexagram number 44, which is coming to meet. So what would happen if you were to progress with things? You were to carry on regardless of the warnings. Well, what would happen, what might happen, is you get yourself into a situation where, things certainly become more difficult. And this hexagram 44 is often connected with relationships. And certainly if you're involved with other people, you might get yourself into a situation where you start to lose control. You might find that other people are pushy, it's difficult to stand up to them, and, in the end, you might be really quite helpless. And, other people who really shouldn't be trusted, shouldn't be relied on, are the ones calling the shots. And so that is yet another good reason, going back to that original hexagram, youthful folly, why you should stop what you're doing and accept what you already know. Because very often we do already know. And so fundamentally, you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, that is just above you at the moment. Though, this is a reading just for one day. And, tomorrow things could be very different. So thank you very much for listening, and tomorrow I will have another video, and I will have another I Ching reading. So I will certainly be talking to you again tomorrow on Thursday, June the 19th.